All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Jace. So I just recorded this video, about 20 minutes. Talked about BTC, ETH, ALTS, my thoughts on the market and everything. And my mic was not recording, so here we are. Let's do it again. Try to give it my best. It's I don't know. It takes a lot of mental energy to really put a lot of thought and effort into these videos, and the mic wasn't recording. That's just my fault. Is what it is, but yeah, it sucks. Okay, so weekly BTC right here where I'm looking to buy is 38.8, right around there. We ran this little low, right, but I personally don't think it's a big deal, right? You have this huge sort of rounded top here. We had Elon just tweet. God, this guy's fucking annoying, to be honest. It's like, I've said this before. I'm gonna try not to refer to the last video over and over again, but something I drew is that, just saying, before BTC took off, like in here, we were getting like a good amount of FUD. Not all the way over there. Like over here, you were getting some FUD, and you were getting some FUD in here, and it's just like the FUD had less and less of an impact. It was like, okay, FUD, okay, FUD, 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 and eventually we just took off. And I sort of feel like it'll be that with Elon. It's just going to take some time. It's like, oh, his tweet pumps it, his tweet dumps it, his tweet pumps it, his tweet dumps it, and eventually it's just going to be less and less so to where the market no longer cares. Okay, so unfortunately for now, we just have to deal with it. It is what it is. One second. Long story short, I still think the market needs some type of major support to be tested. This is just a little SFP bounce combined with the Elon tweet. Probably a short opportunity, but I'm not shorting here. There's no need. I was taking profits near 60K when everyone was telling me I was an idiot. So again, I have no need to short here. I'll simply wait. If my level hits, cool. If it doesn't, then everyone who longed here, I'm happy that you're making money. No reason to hate on anyone except for the people who insult you when you're taking profits towards the top. Okay. What do I want to see in here? Let's talk about that, because I think like a lot of people they're like, oh, SFP. Okay, I'm in. But I mean, this is like many weeks of price action. This is like 11, 12 weeks of price action or something, all the way from January. Okay, so what I personally want to see is something like this. First, you run this low, right? Then you're going to run the low again, something like that. Everyone's going to be like, oh, okay, we're going up now. And then you come back down. No, we're not going up yet. Then you range in here, because this is how a big player fills his orders. A big player doesn't fill his orders off just a tiny little wick like that. They need time to accumulate. Okay, so we're in here, we're consolidating, and don't pay attention to like how far I'm going date wise. I'm just drawing this, right? This could all happen in a quite a small area like this, right? Could do something like that, but my point is I just want to draw it out so people can see. So I want to run this low, and then fake pump, come back down, consolidate in here. Okay, ooh, we're pumping now. Ooh, one more test of the low, and we sweep everything, right? A little bit of deviation below the actual support level, just to push out the final weak hands, and then we actually go. Okay, so that's the type of price action I want to see. Hey, just because I want it doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's just what I personally think will happen because of how this just looks to me like a big weekly rounded top. I don't think a little SFP is all it takes to reclaim all this price action and move. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think we need to let some major buyers get in, and I don't think major buyers want to buy on this little level. I think they want to buy in here. I think they want to shake some people out in here, and then I think we go, and that would be my plan. I'm looking to buy. I don't need to be greedy. I don't need to say, oh, well, let me get in on the deviation of the support level. No, I'm buying on support. It's that simple. Weekly support, previous weekly resistance, weekly support. That's where I'm looking to buy. 38.8 spot BTC. Okay. So in terms of how I talked about this on Twitter, when potential, like panic situations are coming. You got to be prepared ahead of time. So yeah, you want to make sure, have your spot bids set ahead of time, know the levels that you want. There's no need to pull the bids. Don't be afraid. We've been waiting for these levels for months. Let's let our levels hit. Let's let our stops do their job. If you're buying some spot for the long term, then trust in the long term, right? This is a weekly level. You're not going to hit a weekly level. It's unlikely, but you're not going to hit a weekly level and immediately bounce to 100K the very next day. If you're buying a weekly level, give it a few weeks to play out, because it may take a few weeks to play out, okay? You don't buy a weekly level and expect it to bounce on the hourly, okay? So when your weekly bid hits, you don't even need to look at that for probably quite some time. The only way you'd want to be looking at it is if there's some type of major breakdown and like it's not being respected whatsoever. Like if we're down in like the low 30s, because then you're at support again, right? But I don't know. At that point, I'll have to see what local price action looks like. Maybe I'd cut half. We'll see. But overall, I think it depends how bullish we are. I think that somewhere in this blue box is where you bounce from. And it all depends how bullish. If you're omega bullish, then sure, maybe this is just that's the bottom. I highly doubt it. If you're pretty damn bullish, maybe you just bounce right off support here where the previous resistance was. And if we're gonna do a little shakeout, maybe we shake out a little bit in here and then we go. Okay. But overall, simple. My bids are right around 38.8. Okay, 38.9, somewhere around there. Moving forward to Ethereum. I think the key level to watch on ETH is right around here, like 31-ish. We can see we ran this 31 low, solid bounce. I do think if BTC pushes down towards 38, then what you're going to get is some type of a deviation in here. Something like this. You deviate in this area, you come back, and that's probably where you can get a nice long position off something like that. Stops below there. I'll be looking to do something like that. Or if we have a stronger breakdown, obviously this is a major consolidation right here where I'd be buying spot. It's unlikely that we get anywhere even close to in here. Probably more here-ish would be likely. 26-ish to 28-ish. I'll definitely be watching that area. I'd probably layer in nice and slow, like I told you guys, I think I was about 65% out of all my spot bags essentially by, first it was like 3.5, then it was like 4, then it was 42 or 43. So average exit on ETH right now is somewhere around like 39 or something. And ultimately I'll definitely look to add some of that back starting around 28 to, I'd probably add a good amount back towards 25. That's a strong pullback in my opinion. And we could see obvious consolidation here. This consolidation led to this major move up. I'd love to buy around 26. And we may not get it. Like I said, probably the most likely scenario is that I potentially get my spot bids filled on BTC. And on ETH, I watch some type of deviation in here, maybe get a nice long reclaim, do something like that and bid that. And go from there, okay? In the previous video, I also talked about a bunch of alts. Let me see, maybe we'll skim through a couple. All right. When it comes to alts, I'm not really in any alts at the moment. I think when you have potential panic and whatnot, and there's leverage and all that stuff is combined, you can get big slippage on alts. And I mean, we saw it on, I think, like Ren the other week or something that literally like went to zero. So I'm not really necessarily leaving any blind bids on these alts. I'll be watching, seeing how price develops, and pretend like this, right? Let me show you an example. If BTC, right, is at 38K and Sol is at $35, I'll probably give it a buy, put a stop like below 30 or something, right? Because this is a level that I like right here. It's not yet tested. We tested the very top of it, but we have not tested the level here of 35. So if BTC is at 38K and Sol's at 35, I'm looking to get in on Sol. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at Atom. Atom, if we sweep all this area, right? If we do some big sweep of all this price action to the blue box, probably a good long off of there. Watch this area. Watch the blue box. If it's the blue box, and it's all relative to BTC, right? It's the same with ETH. If BTC is at 38 and ETH is at 27, I'm probably definitely going to start buying some ETH there. Okay, it's really because a lot of these charts don't have extremely clean levels to work with, but in my opinion, this is a very clean level on BTC, and I am going to be using it to gauge the rest of the market. Okay, and if BTC is at 38 and ETH is only at 3K flat, probably gonna watch the reaction, hoping that 3K breaks for just a couple minutes or something, and then when it reclaims 3K, I'd probably jump in, something along those lines. I mean, it's very difficult to predict all this stuff that's going to happen relative what's going to be strong as BTC dumps or if it even dumps, etc. But I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of how I'm going into this. But overall, I'm going into this very patient, and I'm able to go into it patient because of the spot profits I took. I'm not in a rush to get back into anything. I was saying it when ETH was at 4K. I was saying, look, ETH at 4K to me is expensive. I've been around since it was $80. At 4K, it's expensive, so that's why I'm taking profits. And I'm not in a hurry to get into positions around here. Now I am starting to definitely, I'm starting to be interested, right, for sure. When you're talking low 3K, when you're talking upper 20s, that's where I'm definitely interested. So I'm watching all that, and I'm watching versus the relative strength of BTC. Okay, back to alts. Let's just zoom this out a little bit. We'll talk about Doge real quick. I know everyone likes the Doge coin. I'm short off 71 cents, and I'm holding it towards like 13 cents. Okay, that's it. I think, it's like I talked about with the whole Elon thing. Without attention, the Doge only strives off attention. And if he's not giving it attention, it's going to eventually break down slowly and keep going down. Without attention, it's not going to survive. So we'll see how much attention he wants to give it. But ultimately, I think that this is the forever top, and I'll be holding my Doge short until literally like 0 or something, until it goes as low as it can possibly go. I already took half at 40 cents. We've talked about this many times. So, and I'll hold the rest. It's not even about the money. It's about the principle. It's worthless. It's a worthless token. The whole thing is bullshit, manufactured from greed. I just don't like it. So I'll just hold it. And if it stops me out at break even, that's perfectly fine. I still profited off the trade. Or it can go to some type of extreme profit that I'm predicting, and that'd be very nice. So I'm going to hold it. Okay, YFI. Yeah, these are all from my previous videos, so some things might be marked out. A lot of the times, like, these levels aren't clean in terms of how they retest, especially these alts lately. They were clean for a bit, but they've been getting a little more ugly lately. Sol's a good example as to how it broke above, and it looked like this would be a very solid level along, right? Like resistance. Ooh, breaks above, breakout. Pfft, nope, and it just dumps right back through. Okay, so things have been definitely a bit more choppy like that nowadays, and yeah, I'd probably look for some type of deviation down here, and then the reclaim is probably where I'd look to buy. Again, I was going to browse through these alts either way. And yeah, 35 on Sol. All these stupid dinosaurs, again, worthless. ADA, LTC, it's all dog shit. I don't pay attention to it. I'm not even sure. I have it on here just to look at it when everyone gets super bullish, especially LTC. There's no better one. When everyone gets bullish on LTC, it nukes every fucking time. This is like everyone's super bullish, everyone's super bullish, everyone's super bullish, everyone's super bullish. Like it does literally, and it just shits out a huge wick that stops out everybody literally every time. Big wick, huge wick. It's just dinos are such trash. I don't even look at the dinos. BNB once again, big rounded top. Hopefully it comes down into the 300s. We'll see. ultimately, like, it's up to the overall market here, right? If the overall market wants to remain strong, then sure, this could just be support, and it goes. But the way I'm seeing it is just like, I think we need to see some type of consolidation in this area for your whales and whatnot to accumulate at the prices they want to accumulate at. And in my opinion, that would mean that alts have to see some downside as well. People ultimately think, oh, the market's weak, we're going lower, we're going to 20K. But in actuality, it'll just be weak hands selling before another move up, in my opinion. Dot. Yeah, look at all this liquidity down here. That'd be nice. Run this 26 level, deviate below, reclaim, and go to new highs. KSM. Poof. I was long off like 277. I closed it at like 370 or something. Absolutely horrible. Flipped to support, went to new highs. Really messed that one up. It is what it is. Yeah, not interested in this at the moment. Uni, choppy, some weird ass trend line here. Not interested. Yeah, ultimately not very interested in many alts right now. Yeah, I like the Atom level. I'll be watching that. UTK around 30 looks interesting. I'll be watching that. Sol around 35. I really like that. 2 tests already. Maybe FTT around 43. We'll see. Yeah, it's really all heavily dependent on the overall market right now. So we'll just get back into that real quick and just have a quick chat. What to say? I mean, really, I think we covered pretty much everything. We covered BTC. I told you, spot, either spot or extremely low leverage for these type of dips. I mean, we haven't even got to US Open yet. This dump basically started occurring overnight. We still got to wake up and see how US responds when they wake up. Like I said, we already talked. I don't think this is very significant. This little wick below, I don't think this SFP is very significant in my opinion. Big rounded top. Yeah, I'd like to see some downside on everything, and I know it's never like the popular vision, right? Oh, why do you want downside? Like you're a hater or some shit like that. But it's not even about that. I'm just looking for healthy market conditions, and in my opinion, this area needs to be tested in order for us to move upwards to new highs. If we don't test this area, then I just feel like it's just more people who are going to eventually be putting themselves underwater. If we rally a little bit, we come back down. Ooh, now all these people are underwater. If we do something like this for a few days and then we bounce off, okay, then we dump below. Oh, okay, now this is resistance. It's like, there's no rhyme or reason to it, and people aren't doing it on purpose, and it's unlikely that any of the market participants on CT are really, doing anything. But my point being is just like, from my perspective, I can't be buying this level. It doesn't make sense to me. And all I would end up doing would be just puking it if we break down below and retest it. And then that just turns into resistance. So, yeah, that's where I'm watching. Unfortunately, my first video was definitely a bit more animated and whatnot, but I told you my microphone was off. So, it is what it is. Covered BTC, covered ETH, covered my plans where I'm looking to buy and all that, covered some alts. Some overall thoughts on the market. Yeah, that's about it. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a great day.